On September 11, 2001, the world was rocked by a series of terrorist attacks that shook the very foundations of America. The most iconic of these attacks was the destruction of the Twin Towers of the World Trade Center. However, there is another building that fell that day which many people do not know about: World Trade Center Tower 7. WTC 7 was a 47-story building that collapsed in less than 7 seconds, despite not being hit by a plane. This video will explore what really happened to WTC 7 and why it is still a controversial topic nearly 2 decades later. But before starting the video, be sure to click the like button and subscribe to never miss out on any of our videos. Background: World Trade Center Tower 7 was located next to the Twin Towers and was completed in 1987. The building was owned by the Port Authority of New York and New Jersey and was primarily used as a hub for government agencies, including the CIA, Secret Service, and Securities and Exchange Commission. The building was also home to a number of financial institutions and law firms. On September 11, 2001, 4 commercial airliners were hijacked by members of the terrorist group Al-Qaeda. 2 of these planes were flown into the Twin Towers, causing them to collapse. The 3rd plane was flown into the Pentagon, and the 4th plane crashed in a field in Pennsylvania after passengers attempted to regain control of the plane. The attacks resulted in the deaths of nearly 3,000 people. The collapse of WTC 7. At around 5:20 p.m. on September 11, 2001, World Trade Center Tower 7 collapsed, 7 hours after the collapse of the Twin Towers. The collapse of the 47-story building, which was not hit by a plane, is still shrouded in controversy and conspiracy theories to this day. The official explanation for the collapse of WTC 7 was provided by the National Institute of Standards and Technology. According to NIST, the collapse was caused by fire-induced damage to the structural steel in the building. The debris from the collapse of the North Tower caused fires on the 12th and 13th floors of WTC 7, which then spread to other floors. The fires burned for over 7 hours and caused the steel beams supporting the building to expand and ultimately fail, leading to the collapse of the building. NIST's investigation found that the fires had caused thermal expansion of the floor beams and girders, which resulted in a critical support column on the 13th floor being overloaded and collapsing. This in turn caused other columns to buckle and the floors to collapse, leading to a progressive collapse of the entire building. NIST's report also noted that the collapse was further worsened by the lack of water supply to the building's sprinkler system, which was damaged by the collapse of the Twin Towers. The absence of water allowed the fires to spread and burn uncontrolled for several hours, leading to the eventual collapse of the building. NIST's explanation for the collapse of WTC 7 has been widely criticized, and many experts and researchers have raised questions about the validity of their findings. One of the most significant criticisms of NIST's report is that it does not account for the rapid and symmetrical collapse of the building. Many experts argue that a fire-induced collapse would not have caused the building to fall so quickly and uniformly. They suggest that it would have taken longer for the building to collapse, and that the collapse would have been asymmetrical, with the building toppling over to one side. Another criticism of NIST's report is that it fails to consider the possibility of explosives being used to bring down the building. Many people believe that explosives were used to bring down the building, and that the fires were used as a cover-up. They argue that the damage caused by the fires was not severe enough to bring down the building, and that there is evidence to suggest that explosives were used. In response to these criticisms, NIST has maintained that its investigation was conducted thoroughly and that its conclusions are based on the best available evidence. They have also noted that the collapse of WTC 7 was an unprecedented event and that there were many factors at play that made it a unique case. Despite the controversy and conspiracy theories surrounding the collapse of WTC 7, the official explanation provided by NIST remains the most widely accepted explanation for what happened. However, the debate and discussion around the collapse of the building continue, and it is likely that the controversy will persist for many years to come. Critiques of the official explanation. Despite the official explanation provided by NIST, Many people are still skeptical about what really happened to WTC-7. Some have pointed out several flaws and inconsistencies in NIST's report, which have led to further investigation and scrutiny. One of the main critiques of NIST's report is that it fails to address the rapid and symmetrical collapse of the building. Many experts argue that a fire-induced collapse would not have caused the building to fall so quickly and uniformly. They suggest that it would have taken longer for the building to collapse, and that the collapse would have been asymmetrical, with the building toppling over to one side. Another criticism of NIST's report is that it fails to consider the presence of explosives in the building. Many people believe that explosives were used to bring down the building, and that the fires were used as a cover-up. They argue that the damage caused by the fires was not severe enough to bring down the building, and that there is evidence to suggest that explosives were used. Some experts have also pointed out that NIST's report does not provide a plausible explanation for the collapse of the building's central columns. The report suggests that the central columns failed due to thermal expansion, but many experts argue that this is unlikely and that there must have been another factor involved. Additionally, NIST's report did not address the fact that WTC-7 had never before collapsed due to fire. In fact, there are only a few instances in history where steel-framed high-rise buildings have collapsed due to fire, and they all collapsed in a gradual and asymmetrical manner, not in a sudden and symmetrical collapse like WTC-7. Some experts have pointed out that there were a number of inconsistencies in the official story regarding the events leading up to the collapse of WTC-7. Alternative theories. Given the flaws and inconsistencies in the official explanation provided by NIST, many people have put forth alternative theories about what really happened to WTC-7. Some of the most popular theories include controlled demolition. This theory suggests that WTC-7 was brought down intentionally through the use of explosives. Proponents of this theory point to the rapid and symmetrical collapse of the building as evidence, as well as the presence of molten steel in the debris field. Directed energy weapons. Some people believe that WTC-7 was destroyed by directed energy weapons, such as a particle beam or a laser. They argue that these weapons could have been used to destroy the building without causing any visible damage to the surrounding area. Nuclear demolition. Another theory is that WTC-7 was destroyed using a nuclear device. Proponents of this theory argue that the presence of tritium in the debris fields suggests that a nuclear device was used, as tritium is a radioactive isotope commonly used in nuclear weapons. While these alternative theories have gained a following among some researchers and activists, they are generally not accepted by the mainstream scientific community. Many experts argue that there is no credible evidence to support these theories, and that they are based on speculation and conspiracy theories. Conclusion: the collapse of World Trade Center Tower 7 on September 11, 2001 remains a controversial topic nearly 2 decades later. While the official explanation provided by NIST suggests that the collapse was caused by fire-induced damage to the structural steel in the building, many people remain skeptical about this explanation. Some experts argue that the rapid and symmetrical collapse of the building is evidence of controlled demolition, while others point to the presence of molten steel in the debris field as evidence of directed energy weapons or nuclear demolition. While it is important to continue investigating what really happened to WTC-7, it is also important to approach the topic with a critical and skeptical mindset. Conspiracy theories and alternative explanations should be evaluated based on their scientific validity and the credibility of the evidence presented. Only through rigorous scientific inquiry can we hope to uncover the truth about what really happened to World Trade Center Tower 7. Thank you for watching. If you liked our video, then hit the subscribe button to never miss out any of our videos. See you next time.